Our headlines today. Assisted deaths in England and Wales may not need the approval of a High Court judge under changes being proposed in Parliament.
This is the beginning of making America rich again.
President Trump confirms a 25% tariff on steel and aluminium heading into the United States from all countries, including the UK.
Just don't be scared, don't freeze, just get in there, get stuck in.
A happy ending for the cinema goers who saved the life of a woman when she suffered a cardiac arrest at the cinema.
After Plymouth Argyle's FA Cup heroics, will we see another cup upset tonight? Exeter City will certainly bring the noise. Can they bring the result to match it as they play Premier League high flyers Nottingham Forest?
Good morning. From today, rules will be relaxed around maths and English qualifications for apprentices. Will that help fill skills gaps in key areas? Well, the government hopes so. We're at BAE Systems talking to the stars of the future.
I was freezing in my maths class, so my teacher told me to go to the corner of the room. It was 90 degrees there.
Ba-bum tish, we're going to meet the wordplay wizard who won last night's UK Pun Championships.
The New Year sales gave retail stores their strongest growth in almost 2 years. Figures from the British Retail Consortium and KPMG show total sales across the UK increased by 2.6% year-on-year in January, against the weak 1.2% uplift of a year earlier. Almost all categories saw sales growth, with only toys and baby equipment remaining in decline. The funeral of the former Manchester United and Scotland star Denis Law will take place later today. The service is going to be held at Manchester Cathedral. He died last month at the age of 84. The Church of England will debate and vote on a new safeguarding model today after recent reviews highlighted multiple failures. Members of the General Synod are sitting for the first session since the resignation of the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, last month.
Let's look at the papers this Tuesday morning, shall we? And start with the Times, who are leading with reports that Sir Keir Starmer doesn't want to join the European Union in any tariff war against the United States. We've been talking, haven't we, about what might happen tit for tat. The EU has threatened to respond to President Trump's new levy on steel brought into the United States, saying it has no justification.
The Eye reports that the UK government fears the steel industry here faces a fatal blow from the tariffs. The paper says business and trade union leaders have urged ministers to step in and protect jobs.
The Telegraph focuses on comments from the Conservative leader, Kemi Badenoch, who has dismissed the idea of any election pact with Reform UK. This comes after a poll last week, you'll remember, put Reform ahead of both the Conservatives and Labour.
And the Mirror is leading on a push to save the UK's pubs. The paper says its campaign to strengthen Britain's struggling boozers has the support of the Prime Minister.
Do you fancy getting creative?
Always.
Because we've got the story now of Roland Elliott Berry from Cheltenham. He's 73 years old. He works as a heavy goods driver, but he's also spent decades pursuing his passion of creating works of art from stained glass.
That is properly creative. That might be slightly above our skill set, John, I think. Well, he learned how to perfect the ancient craft from a glass restorer at Gloucester Cathedral. And after his daughter shared a video of him on social media, he is now picking up commissions from all over the world. Our reporter Steve Nibbs has more.
Roland Elliott Berry has been fascinated by the gentle art of stained glass for the last 50 years, but now his hobby has taken off in a way he wasn't quite expecting.
One of the things I'm asked relatively often in comments I get is, yes, but how do you actually cut the glass?
Stand aside cat videos and children dancing on TikTok, Roland has gone viral, with this video in particular hitting big numbers.
That one ended up just before Christmas at 9 million views, and we had like Khloe Kardashian commented on it, and Jennifer Aniston liked it, and Ryan Reynolds, and just absolutely bonkers.
And incredibly, this was all a bit of a surprise for Roland, who at first didn't even know he'd been put on social media.
But you didn't tell me.
But she didn't tell you?
No. She didn't tell me until after one had got something like 55,000 hits in less than 12 hours. What she didn't tell me was she was filming me looking amazed. She put that on TikTok, and that got 2.9 million views.
Roland's garden workshop is being renovated at the moment, so for now, Cicely is filming her dad in the kitchen.
Are the edges of the glass sharp when you cut them?
And this whole experience has meant so much to them both.
I find it curiously humbling. It's a bit surreal, you know. I can't actually get my head around figures like that.
I love that he's getting the recognition. From our side, we wanted to show off Dad and everything that he could do. And just for him to not be like in his 70s and quietly kind of pottering away in his shed and nobody seeing all this stuff that he could do that we just thought was really amazing.
And now is the time to cut it down to a more manageable piece. I mean, showing people simple things like how to cut glass, how to solder joints, how to, you know, just the basics on stained glass, because I think there's a lot of interest.
TikTok is about to use Roland in one of its promotional films, so who knows where that will lead. He says he's still waiting to get recognised in the street, but for now, it's all been a great experience, sharing his passion with a global audience. Steve Nibbs, BBC News, Cheltenham.
He's famous.
He's really famous.
TikTok famous.
Yeah, the Kardashians noticed and commented on his stained glass
Has
skills.
she ordered, though? That's all we...
Probably a
That's
whole
what it
house full,
was.
I imagine.
Well done, Roland. That's lovely stuff.
Also tonight, Britain's most senior police chief calls a High Court ruling preventing him from sacking some police officers completely absurd.
Today's ruling on the law has left policing in a hopeless position.
The Princess of Wales goes to prison to visit a mother and baby unit in Cheshire. And first it was lynx, now it's feral pigs that have been spotted on the loose in the Highlands.
The UK and US refused to sign an international agreement on artificial intelligence at a global summit in Paris. Also coming up on The World Today, Muslim and Jewish leaders in the UK sign a landmark pact to tackle poverty and discrimination. To read or not to read, renowned songwriter Sir Tim Rice calls for surtitles in music theatre to help audiences keep up.